confident you can put that right this time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the gaffer said there, I think there's only a few of us that have maybe involved in that tournament, in that game especially, and sometimes games like that give you more motivation to go and be successful in the future, and you can learn from experiences like that, and I did for sure, and the players that were involved did for sure. So yeah, it's a totally different circumstance. We're obviously playing a massive team in Germany, but it's just one to look forward to. We feel confident. We've had a good start to the tournament. Areas we can improve for sure. So hopefully we can take that into tomorrow night.
There's obviously been a lot of focus on you, Harry, and the lack of goals so far. Do you listen to any of that outside noise? How do you cope? Do you feel like the goals didn't start flowing throughout the squad?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said as a striker, you go through spells, good spells, and sometimes spells that just don't quite go your way. The most important thing for me is that we're winning games. The first objective was to qualify, which we've done. The second is to now try and reach a quarter-final. So whether I'm scoring, the most important thing is that we're winning. So that's all I'm focused on tomorrow night. That's all the team are focused on. However we get it done, that's our main objective, and yeah, we'll do everything in our power to get through.
It appears I'm the only hand raised, so I'll keep going. Gareth, a question for you. I didn't want to be the one that asked it, but someone's going to have to mention Euro 96 eventually. This is going to be the biggest match on UK soil since then, I imagine. Do you speak to your players about how big this moment's going to be? I know you've spoken about writing your own history, but it is a huge moment.
Yeah, we don't have to mention it, Simon, but you've chosen to, so we'll go there. No, I think you can make these things as big in your head as you want, really. It's a game of football. These boys have played hundreds of them. There is, of course, great excitement with fans and people tuning into the game. But we've got to trust in the way we prepare, transferring what we do in training into the game. And focus on the things we can control. Everything else outside it brings excitement, brings motivation, but it's a game of football and an opportunity to get to a quarter-final, and that's what we're focused on.
Thanks, good luck.
Thank you, Simon. Next we'll go to James Ollie of ESPN.
For Gareth, is it realistic to think that Mason or Ben can start, given presumably they haven't been able to do any major team shape work with as an 11 anyway?
Well, clearly it's really complicated because there's the physical periodisation that you would want for a game like this, and then there's the tactical training. They've had to the meetings we've had, they've had to be in a separate room and dial in on Zoom, and so the whole experience for them, including travelling down tonight, is very, very difficult. But you know, they're young players who I think can get on with things pretty well. As I said, it's a decision I've got to take when we're looking at how they've been able to train and everything else. So there's a lot wrapped up in that call.
James,
you get a full week.
Sorry, James, you start that one again. You're on mute. Thank you.
Sorry, I was just saying, how useful has this week been, Gareth, to have a full week training with the team? Do you feel like you've been able to make the most of it, despite the issue with obviously Mount and Chilwell?
Yeah, I think that it was important for a couple of days for the players to just relax and have a lower physical output. It would have been a very long lead-in otherwise, and now we've been able to get a lot of work done in on the training ground, some tactical work which is important for this game in particular. So yeah, that's an unusual opportunity for us. It's probably the longest period we've had in 12 months to work with the team.
Thanks, James. Next we'll go to Theo Squires from the Liverpool Echo.
Hi, I've got a question for both of you. I'll start with Gareth. Reports today saying that Jordan Pickford could be one of your penalty takers. Obviously, your last two major tournaments, he's been a big part in penalty shootout victories. It's a game against Germany. Penalties are always going to come up. when you've already ended this jinx, how important is Jordan going to be against the Germans if it does go to penalties?
Well, there's obviously a lot of football before that moment, and first and foremost, we've got to get the 90 minutes right. So, but in that eventuality, the first thing is he's a very, very good at stopping penalties, and that's psychologically for us a very important position. And most goalkeepers are good strikers of a ball, really. So he's done it before. Obviously, everybody has been practicing. That's part of the process we go through. But yeah, as I say, his ability to save penalties is a great thing for us.
And now for Harry, obviously you're arguably one of the best penalty takers in England in the Premier League, and Jordan's got this ability to stop penalties. I'm imagining you've been practicing lots in training, so it's just who's coming out on top between the two of you for when you're doing that, and what is it about Jordan that makes him so difficult to beat from the penalty spot?
Yeah, no, Jordan's obviously great. I think I've had one penalty against him in my career, and I managed to score that one when he was back at Sunderland, so I still give him a bit of stick for that every now and then. But no, look, penalties are something obviously I practice throughout the season a lot. I wouldn't say I've done a load more than what I normally do since I've been away with England. So obviously we have 3 keepers here with the squad, so they're always chopping and changing when the lads are practicing. So yeah, like I said, Jordan's brilliant. It's great to have his all the training he does, and obviously the confidence he's took from the last couple penalty shootouts we've had with England. Whenever that's called upon, hopefully, yeah, he'll stand up like he has done for England in the past.
Thank you, Theo. Next we'll go to Rob Harris of AEP.
Hi Gareth, good luck for tomorrow. Just wondering what you made of Mark Bullingham's praise, and whether it's a conversation you want after the tournament about signing that new contract beyond 2022, or if it's something you'd prefer to wait even after Qatar.
I think that I said yesterday, any manager is going to be grateful for total backing of the board and our chief executive. So from my perspective, that's obviously I know that that's a private conversation, that I've had that support, but as I said yesterday, in the end, internal backing is important, but in this role in particular, external backing is just as important. And I always think to discuss contracts around tournaments in the past hasn't been the right thing, and we were certain we weren't going to do that before this tournament. We should see how this goes. So all my focus is on the game and getting this team as far as we possibly can.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, next we'll go to Scott Wilson, the Northern Echo.
Hi Gareth. Gareth, you obviously got the opportunity to play in 1996, in massive tournament games in front of a home crowd at Wembley. You created, some great moments, some great memories out in Russia, but just how big an opportunity is it for this group of players to, potentially create those memories at Wembley in front of 40,000, hopefully 60,000 if the tournament goes on? Clearly this is, they're not going to get a chance to play another tournament at Wembley. So just how would you kind of put into words what chance that is for them?
Well, I think every time you pull an England shirt on, you have the opportunity to score a goal that will be shown forever, and to create a bit of skill or to be involved in a match that lives in the memory. And that's the beauty of playing for your country. I think if you think of all the big players in history, of course, club European football, there are significant memories, but when you picture those great players, it's normally in an international shirt that their biggest memories are formed, and that is the case every time you pull on an England shirt. So it is an opportunity that few get, and these lads have earned it, and I'm sure they're going to relish that.
Thank you, Scott. Next we'll go to Nizar Kinsella from goal.com.
Hi Gareth, I wanted to ask you, you've been one to praise boys going overseas in the past. How important do you think that link is still between German and English football? And do you see it continuing? And with that in mind, I just wanted a word on Musiala as well, who maybe will have a mark on the match after being in the England picture for a while.
Yeah, well, we have one of the things we did after the World Cup in Brazil. We did a big study on Germany and their development program, their youth program. They've got an incredible football history, really. Even when they've had teams that, from the outside, people have said are going to struggle. In 2002, we won heavily in Munich, and Germany got to the final, and we were a long way on our way home. So they've got that mentality, which is one of the big things we've got to be ready for tomorrow. Obviously, in recent past, club-wise, a lot of their clubs have taken young players either on loan or have signed them, as in the case of Jadon and Jude. So that market seems to be open for people. Not all of that has been successful, you'd have to say, but some of those moves have been. And I think it's good for players to play abroad. It broadens their football education. They get different styles of play, different styles of coaching. Of course, in our country now, our players are fortunate to work with some of the top managers in the world in their clubs as well. So we're getting that exchange of ideas and football education that didn't happen in the past. With Jamal, he's a very good young player. Him and Jude were in matches that I've watched them play for our junior teams in the past. So we were hopeful he would stay with us, but we totally understood his decision. And it's nice for him that he's been able to get some minutes in this championship as well.
Thanks, Gareth.
Okay, thanks, Nazar. We don't appear to have any more raised hands, so we'll conclude this media conference here. Thank you very much.